It's not every day you see Elon Musk openly pushing back against Donald Trump. For years, these two have lived in overlapping circles, high-profile disruptors, media-savvy powerhouses, men unafraid to challenge convention or burn a few bridges to make a point. But this week, we saw a very real divergence between them. And it's centered around one word: tariffs. On April 2nd, Trump declared what he called Liberation Day, unleashing a sweeping series of tariffs, including a universal 10% levy on all imported goods and significantly higher rates for products coming out of the European Union and other select countries. His stated goal? To bring manufacturing back to the US, to end the economic manipulation of foreign competitors, and to establish what he's now calling America First 2.0. Within days, Elon Musk responded. Not in a tweet storm, but in a more deliberate way. He appeared via video at a political conference in Italy, hosted by the League Party, and made a call for zero tariffs between the US and Europe. He proposed a full-blown free trade zone. And in his own words, he said, "At the end of the day, I hope it's agreed that both Europe and the United States should move ideally, in my view, to a zero-tariff situation." That's a direct rebuke of Trump's strategy. But he didn't stop there. On his platform X, Musk took a direct shot at Peter Navarro, the architect of Trump's trade war playbook, stating that having a PhD in economics from Harvard was a bad thing, not a good thing. It was vintage Elon, cutting, sarcastic, and intentional. So the question is, why now? Why take this stand? Why speak out, when in the past, Musk has been cautious to directly confront Trump? The answer might lie in what these tariffs could actually do to companies like Tesla, and to the broader vision Musk has built his empire on. Tesla is not a traditional American manufacturer. It's a global operation. Gigafactories in China, Berlin, and soon Mexico. Raw materials from around the world. Software teams spread across continents. Supply chains that were painstakingly optimized over years to cut costs and stay agile. Tariffs threaten all of that. They introduce friction, delay, and cost inflation at exactly the wrong time, when competition is tightening and margins are under pressure. TSLA stock, for the most part, has felt like it's been moving sideways over the past year, fluctuating, yes, but lacking a clear uptrend. It struggled under the weight of rising rates, slowing EV demand, and growing competition from Chinese automakers like BYD. The last thing Tesla, or its investors, need right now is a geopolitical policy shift that makes global operations more expensive and uncertain. But beyond the business case, this moment also reveals a deeper philosophical difference. Trump's approach is one of controlled isolationism, rebuilding American power by restricting access, protecting domestic industry, and renegotiating from a position of strength. Musk, on the other hand, is a globalist, maybe not in the political sense, but in the operational one. He doesn't believe in boundaries. He builds tunnels across borders. He launches satellites to blanket the planet. He sells cars, software, energy, and ideology, and he does it on a global scale. So it's no surprise that he sees tariffs as a threat, not just to Tesla, but to the very concept of scaling innovation at planetary speed. From his perspective, barriers slow progress. They distort markets. And they limit the reach of big ideas. Still, there's a political game being played here too. Musk may be hoping to influence the narrative early, before these policies become entrenched. Or, more cynically, he may be hedging his bets. If Trump's going to push an agenda that hits Tesla's bottom line, Musk can't afford to stay silent. This might not be a personal rift, it might be preemptive negotiation. There's also a chance, and we shouldn't rule this out, that these tariffs are more theater than long-term strategy. Trump has used this tactic before. Set extreme expectations. Get headlines. Force a reaction. Then walk back to the negotiating table with leverage. If that's the case, Musk may simply be trying to shape the initial conditions of that negotiation, to protect Tesla, sure, but also to protect broader trade norms that many American tech companies rely on. Either way, the market is watching. TSLA stock hasn't cratered, but it's been wobbling. Investors are trying to price in not just higher material costs, but the potential for global backlash, retaliatory tariffs, fractured alliances, and slower regulatory approvals in key regions. And beyond Tesla, other American companies with global exposure are asking the same questions. Is this the beginning of a fundamental shift in US trade policy? Or just the start of another negotiation cycle with a familiar cast of characters? Whatever the answer, one thing is clear: Elon Musk has entered the political arena again. Not just as a tech mogul, but as a global CEO defending his version of capitalism. He's not tweeting memes this time. He's standing up for trade, for mobility, and for the system that made Tesla a household name. The tariffs might be popular in the short term depending on how you look at them. But if there's one thing we've learned from watching Musk, and Trump, for that matter, it's that neither of them stays quiet when they think the future's at stake. And right now, it seems like they're betting on two very different futures.